Olson has the visiting Rotarians.
Today we have visiting Jim Whitworth from Lake Hickory and Philip Reed from Gainesville, Georgia.
Thank you. How about guest down the right-hand side? Yes? Okay. Wait, Alan, go first. Saw your hand first.
I think maybe he's already been introduced by John, but Philip Reed, again from Gainesville, Georgia. He's going to be transferring into our club from there. He's already living in Hickory with his family, and I know the governor's probably going to be talking about membership, so new member. All right.
Okay, Ray.
Introduce my wife Karen. She's a teacher here in Catawba County Schools, Claremont Elementary, and we're 3 weeks away from the big day. Wow.
Charles.
President David, I'm pleased to have another grandson with me today. This one has to go through life known as Charles R. Young III. He's got strong character. Thank you.
Okay, anybody I miss on the right? How about center? Avery? Okay. Good to have you. Anybody else down the center? Okay, how about the left side? Anybody else? Okay, great. Ernie Mache is our Rotary moment.
So I'm not leaning over the lectern up here this week. Health of the club, as far as I know, Bob Holland is recovering nicely from his surgery, and Rufus Walker is continuing to improve at home. Does anybody know of anybody else in the club that we need to bring up? Keeping our thoughts? Okay. Birthdays, August 10th was Al Spivey, and Al relates to a couple of celebrities on that same birthday. The 31st President Herbert Hoover has that same birthday, and actor Antonio Banderas, who played Zorro. Happy birthday, Al. August 12th is Rosemary Cheek. She shares her birthday with actor George Hamilton, Mr. Forever Tan, and Jane Wyatt, who played the role of Spock's human mother in Star Trek, if those of you that were Trekkies. August 13th, Cliff Moon. I know Cliff's here. I'm here. Yeah. Cliff, well, director and producer, Sir Alfred Hitchcock. And then also, and I don't know if you want to come up here and give us a song real quick, Hawaiian singer and entertainer Don Ho, who sang Tiny Bubbles. Okay. All right, since I'm a new Rotarian, I've only been here since December, January, I did find a couple of Rotary Club member jokes. So if you've heard these, I apologize in advance, but I hadn't heard them, so I thought the cornier the better. So 3 Rotary Club members, all a little hard of hearing, were standing by the bowling green at a park. And those of you who don't know what a bowling green is, go Google it. One remarked to the other, "Windy, isn't it?" And the other one said, "No, it's Thursday." The third man nodded in agreement. "So I am. Let's have a cup of tea." Okay, a doctor, a lawyer, and a Rotarian, no particular one, but the Rotarian was in charge of fundraising. They all die and they arrive at the pearly gates to get their admission into heaven. St. Peter says they can each have one thing to take with them. So the doctor was first in line. He said, "I'll take $1 million." St. Peter gives it to him and he heads on through the pearly gates. The lawyer, who is not going to be outdone by a doctor, says, "I'll take $2 million. And St. Peter says, very well, and he sends him on through the pearly gates. Well, the third person in line, the Rotarian, who had just finished a fundraising project for the Rotary Foundation, leans over to St. Peter, and St. Peter says, what would you like to take with you into heaven? And the Rotarian says, well, if it's not too much trouble to ask, I'd like the names of those two people that were in front of me in line. So he was fundraising to the end. Since we wanted to do a little bit of education with the Rotary Moment, I've got a couple of history notes that I wanted to share with you for today. In 1935, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Social Security Act into law. And that's all I'm going to say about that. In 1945, it was announced by President Truman that Japan had surrendered unconditionally, and that ended World War II. In 1953, the wiffle ball was invented. And last but not least, and I thought this was very interesting, in 1976, a charity softball game, since we're involved with charity, began for the Community General Hospital in Monticello, New York. The game was eventually called off due to weather after 30 hours of play, and the final score was Gager's Diner 491 to Bend and Elbow Tavern 467.
Pretty good for a debut. Not bad. Not bad. Okay, you do have committee sign-up sheets on your tables. And maybe last week you didn't exactly understood that I said to go ahead and put your names on those, because we didn't have a lot of people sign up. So that's what they're there for, is to put your name on it. If you have signed up online, thank you, and that still is available. So you can still do that online, and that's a great way to do it. It actually lets us get the information to the chairs and everything. But if you have not done that, then be sure to sign up for one of these committees that you are passionate about, and we'll tell you what you're passionate about if you don't tell us. The Cycle Challenge, Carolina Cycle Challenge, is October 5th, and that's getting here in a hurry. And our club is part of it. It's going to be Catawba County Rotary Day, and that's put on by the several Rotary clubs. So we want to have a big presence there, and our primary responsibility will be route safety. Will be at different checkpoints, mostly at turns, making sure that they make the right turn, and then helping with what they call the sag wagon and different things like that. So we need to start that volunteer list. That is October 5th, it's a Sunday in the morning, and they have T-shirts for all the volunteers, so they need to get that order in. And so we need to know your size, especially if you're a XX or something like that, so they won't have a bunch of those around. Mike Johnson has the sign-up sheet with him, and we can start that through, right after the meeting, and we'll have it, but we need to get that done in a couple of weeks. Jack McCaskill's working on that quite a bit, and he's got to get those ordered. So check your calendar. We've been talking about it quite a bit already.
I'll leave right here, sign up as you go.
Okay, as you go out. So go ahead and get your name on that. Everybody should be available, and we'll find a place for you. Okay? Any questions? Anything else, Mike? I know Mike's working on that a little bit, and Mike Thomas also is kind of co-chairing that. So get your name on that list. Don't just bypass it. Okay, as you may have heard, we've got a few prizes that we're giving out today in a raffle, and they've been pre-selected, and we're not doing that till the end. So not only you have to be here, but you have to stay to the end to get the prize. But 4 VIP seats in an April or May game for the Crawdads, a party patio Sunday through Wednesday for an April-May game, 2 tickets to Disney's The Little Mermaid, 2 tickets to Duck Hunter Shoots Angel. I've talked with John Rambo about that. A $50 gift certificate to Highland Avenue Restaurant, a $20 gift card to Groucho's, a talking barbecue thermometer. Now, when you're at the LR game and you put your big roast on and then you're all the way at the other end of the practice field checking out what Neil McGave's got in the PDF tent, and 100 yards away your thermometer will tell you, hey, it's getting close. And then by the time you get that 100 yards, it says, hey, it's ready. So it's only here can you get this kind of stuff. Okay. And then we have a Kindle Fire HD, and it's got a gift receipt with it. So if you want to upgrade to the latest iPad or whatever, then you got a $150 head start. So pretty good deal there. Okay. And the names have been pre-selected. So we're going to call your name out. If you're not here, then everybody knows it. And if I go 20 names with nobody being here, somebody pretend to be them, because it'll look bad for the governor. And the first name that is here, you'll get your choice, and then we'll go down from there. Okay? All right, so that's coming up. All right, it is certainly a great day for us having the district governor here. And we've talked about this a lot, about the sacrifice it takes for that. And one of the sacrifices that takes place is his wife. And we're certainly glad to have Demi here. And Demi is a Rotarian that didn't get on the list, but Demi Bray is with us tonight. She's helping handling arrangements and correspondence and all kinds of stuff, and also being a Rotarian at the same time. So Demi, we're certainly glad to have you. And Jack McCaskill's been here a couple of times. Jack is our assistant governor, and he's helping Gary today, as he actually it's the second club he's visited in 2 board meetings. So Jack will be back with us, giving us a program on membership, and has really helped the area presidents a lot, really. We've had a couple meetings, had one Monday night, as a matter of fact. So Jack McCaskill here is the bio for Gary is in the spoke, and he didn't want a whole lot said, and it's mostly said there what needs to be. But the biggest thing I can tell you is this is a dedicated guy. And it takes it to be a governor anyway, but everybody will tell you he's passionately involved in Rotary and has been for several years. And he was a key component of Honor Air, which most of you are familiar with, and also was a key ingredient in the 70th anniversary of the D-Day celebration. And to tell you his dedication, the dates kind of got on top of each other. He actually missed the RI convention as an incoming governor to make sure that he took care of that celebration. So that tells you the kind of guy we're talking about. So without further ado, we welcome Governor Gary Bray.
He's a jolly good fellow, there's nobody can deny. I made the mistake of asking to get on the email list of club bulletins, and I think I've gotten about 20 of them from your club here in the last few days. And I got a little worried about some of the things I was reading, so I started reading. And Jim Eflin a few years ago, in 2004 and 5, developed a book, and he invited members of each club in the district to give a history. So last night I read. And what I've been doing is reading the history of clubs before I go to the club. And last night, yours is the longest one in the book, I believe. It's about 6 pages. And the first thing I read, and I started chuckling, and Demi asked me, what in the world are you reading? And it was about your club and your singing history. And apparently, the first time your club had singing, the newspaper representative there didn't think too much of the quality of the singing. So it was, I had a good chuckle. I also learned a lot about your club, but thank you very much. Demi and I sincerely appreciate the hospitality. We had the pleasure of sitting in on a board meeting today and participating a little bit, and I once again want to thank President David and your entire board for allowing us to join you. I've had, I think you're the 18th or 19th club, I lose track now, that I've visited so far, and Demi has been with me on most of them. And I had only one club could we not figure out the schedule so that I could go to a board meeting. So at, let's say, 19 club visits and 18 board meetings and some dinners and so forth, and it's been a lot of fun. It's the best job in being, best part of being a governor. I want to thank, and David took some of my thunder here, I want to publicly thank Jack McCaskill for the work that he is doing as assistant governor and also as district membership chair. He has set a fine example for all of our assistant governors, and I've been very fortunate with the work that all of our AGs are doing, but Jack is at the top of the list in terms of the amount of work and dedication he is putting into that, and I thank you for that. I think that, I get the feeling I'm being recorded here, so I can't move around the way I'd really like to, but she'll follow me?
Yeah.
Okay, if I go all the way around the room. Okay. Maybe I could talk from the back and she'd have a hard time doing this. What I would like to do with my official visit presentation is to take just a few minutes and talk about several things, but the message I would like to get across that's most important is what I envision as the role of the district and the role of the district governor. To me, it's very, very simple. That role of the district and the governor is to support clubs and support Rotarians in the work that you are doing in your communities and hopefully in some of your projects around the world. We have some districts, some clubs who do a lot of internationally, and we had a brief discussion about that in the board meeting today, and your club is not one of them. But that's your choice, and my approach to being governor is you make the choices. If there's anything that we can do to help at the district level, we want to do that, but the decisions are yours. Because of that attitude, I do not have any district projects. It is my opinion that it's a little too easy to have a governor say, I'd like you, the Rotary Club of Hickory or the Rotary Club of Franklin, to do such and such. And oh, by the way, give me a check for X amount of money so that we can help make that happen. And I don't want to do that. You all know your community, you know your members, and I look forward to supporting you in any way that I can, that your board and that you wish to accomplish your goals, but they're your goals, not mine. I think it's critical in some of these things that I'm going to talk about in terms of my role, I see as the same as your role and the other leaders of your club's roles and the future presidents. And I think the way to accomplish goals is first of all, to lead by example. And Demi and I are doing our best to lead by example, to get out into the communities, to work with club leaders, to do the things that we would be asking you to do, which is time related. They're not specific things related to projects or whatever, as I just said, but lead by example. Secondly, I think that one of probably my strongest asset is that I know my liabilities. I know my weaknesses. My best strength is understanding me, I think. And so what I've done is I have tried to build a team around me, and the governor has to choose in the neighborhood of 65 people throughout the district for all kinds of things, some of which I've never heard of before getting involved, and some of which are not applicable in our district. But I'm trying to build a team around my weaknesses so that they can help me out. So lead by example, build a team around your weaknesses. Thirdly, some clubs have real trouble focusing, and some leaders. They want to do so many different things, and they see so many opportunities for service that they sometimes can't focus enough to do a really outstanding job on any one thing or accomplish anything seriously. So what I am asking you to do, and I think that all of the successful people I know have an excellent ability to focus. And I ask that you focus on what your club and you feel are important. I'm doing the same thing, and I'm asking questions of clubs as we go through, especially in the board meetings, and trying to get people to focus on what's really important to them, and then go after that. Somebody in the audience here suspected that I would mention membership. You're right. Rotary International, Demi and I, well, let me backtrack. The district governor and spouse are asked to go, the governor has to go, the spouse is asked to go to San Diego in January of every year, and they bring in all 537 district governors from around the world, district governors elect. And you have an opportunity to do a lot of things together and meet people from all over the world, and it's a life, not necessarily a life-changing event, but it is certainly a lifelong memory event. And at that, it became obvious that Rotary has three things that it is truly concerned about worldwide. Their membership is number one. 1.2 million members now. You all have heard that number probably what seemed like 1.2 million times. 11 years ago, it was 1.2 million members. And I don't know whether it was a mathematician who did this or what, but apparently we've lost about 1.2 million members in the past 11 years. So what we've got is a situation where it's obvious we are not retaining members whom we could retain. So I'm asking you to bring in qualified members, members who buy into what your club really wants to do in your community, new members who will help you be successful. But also focus on, and I know you are from the board meeting, focus on retaining your members, because obviously if you can bring in a few and retain those you have, that makes your job a lot easier. So retention is critical. The next thing that is critical, and Jack and I have had multiple conversations about this, and as well as a lot of other people, is we ask that you support the Rotary Foundation, Polio Plus, and in southeastern United States, CART. You've got CART buckets here. I've had the honor of attending 3 board meetings of CART and hearing the recipients of the grants for CART speak. And I didn't understand much of anything they said. They're so much smarter than I am, and they speak a different language. But in talking with them privately, not privately, but standing around talking with them, you learn some things about them. They can communicate a little more easily down to my level. It's amazing what CART does for research scientists for Alzheimer's. Third thing is service. And we talked about this today. One of the things that Rotary International learned 4 years ago, I believe it was, they went back and looked at the prior 5 years of international projects. And one of the questions was, are they still benefiting their communities who were the recipients? And the answer in 2/3 of the cases, if I remember the stat correctly, was no, they weren't. We were doing feel-good projects around the world. We were doing things that were valuable at the time, but they did not last. They did not continue to benefit the recipients. So what Rotary is asking us to do is do more worthwhile projects, longer-term projects, more meaningful projects. And I think that can be said in our community projects as well as our international projects. So I hope that when you are evaluating your projects, and you have some great ones, when you are evaluating your projects, please keep those 3 things in mind. I don't think I've heard a district governor say that I'd like you to come to my district conference because it's going to be the best one you've ever attended. And you've heard the first one. I'm not going to say that. And the reason I'm not going to say that is there's only one person who can determine whether or not it's the best one you've attended, and that's you. So I'm asking you to give it a shot. It'll be April 24th to the 26th at the Charlotte Omni in Uptown Charlotte. It is something that we're going to send out periodic emails with information about the district conference and who will be presenting and what we're going to do. I have a shy and retiring, very quiet lady who is my district conference chair, and for those of you who know Tiffany Urban, you'll know that I am not telling you the truth when I describe her as that. She has a great personality. She is a real dynamo. She's having a great time getting ready for this, and she's doing a marvelous job at helping Demi and me in this, and she'll be sending out information to all of your members about what's upcoming. David mentioned that Demi and I had the honor of attending and participating in bringing 260 Normandy invasion veterans to the National D-Day Memorial 70th Anniversary Commemoration. And because we could not go to the Sydney Convention, I took the money that the district would have given me, which was $7,000, and I added that to my district conference budget. And what I have asked David to do, and what I am asking you to do, is if you have never attended a district conference, to please come to ours. And what we're going to do is use that $7,000 to offset some of your costs to encourage first-time attendees. The 4-way test applies, so we hope that you will come. I had a couple of past district governors give me a piece of advice, and one was give them the money back. Well, one was make them have some skin in the game, so we're not going to reduce your costs to zero. Number 2 was give them the money as they're walking out the door at the end of the district conference. Don't give it to them up front. And I said, I can't believe you said that about Rotarians, but he said, well, you will if you give it out ahead of time. So I think I will follow his advice. He handed out $50 bills to first-time attendees as they were leaving when he did that. So it was an interesting concept. I do not know how much it will be per member because I don't know how many first-time attendees there will be, but we will let you know as we get much closer to the registration. But we hope that you will come. We want to make it worthwhile. We want to have a good time. I think the primary benefit, however, to going to a district conference is getting a chance to meet other Rotarians throughout our district. and it's a lot of fun, and you can learn a lot and have a good time. Third reason we hope that you come, I'm going to have a Scotch tasting party, and it's going to be a fundraiser for a local project in the Charlotte area, but we're hoping to get 50 or 60 people to attend, and I have never had such an easy job finding volunteers to work on a committee. I mentioned today you shouldn't say anything about committees. This is the exception. If you say, would you like to be on my Scotch tasting committee, they're there in a heartbeat. And for those of you who know past District Governor Ed Walkoff, he volunteered to help me, and he said if I would pay his way to Scotland, he would be happy to choose Scotch for me. So I said, if I'm going to pay your way, I'm going, not you. So I really hope that you will attend. I thank you very much for all that you do for your community. This is my first time here in your club, and I hope it won't be the last time this year. And I sincerely appreciate your hospitality. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Governor. It certainly is a pleasure, and it's great you being here in our club. And if I have to find enough people to surround me for my weaknesses, we're in trouble. So I don't think we've got enough. I don't think we've got enough people. Okay, service above self-rifle. Let's do that first, John. Be sure to sign up for the cycle challenge as you go out, and the committee's on your table.
All right, today we brought in $89. I think that is a recent term record. We have 40 cards, 1 joker, and the winning number is...
Well, you got the
Somebody took the key last time. So this is our backup key. I'll let you draw 1 lucky ticket. Okay. No, that's mine.
Okay, 5, 5, 2, 1, 3, 5. 5, 5, 2, 1, 3, 5. Robert. If you lose, you get a free lunch. All right, it's a black card, but it's not the ace of spades. We live another day. Okay, this has been a lot of fun doing this, actually. I told you what the prizes are, and I figured out a way to have a random number selection. I asked somebody in my office to do that, and so we just do it on a graphing calculator. I've never seen a graphing calculator, much less know how to use one. But I do have the internet, and after several attempts of doing that, I did finally find a random number calculator, and I came up with random numbers, and then I matched them against our alphabetical list, and then I have the selections here. All right, and so if you're not here, be sure to tell that person that they were not here and they could have won a prize. The number 1 person is Mick Berry. He was here last week. He's not here this week, so give him the big rasp. Also here last week, do I see Bill Peckman? Bill Peckman was here last week, not here. And number 3, Jan Bomuller is here. Jan's always here. So Jan, you get your choice. We got the meal gift certificates, the crawdads, the plays, the barbecue, and the Kindle.
Disney.
She chooses a gift certificate to Highland Restaurant. Okay. See Robert Locke will pick you up. All right. Next, Dallas Abbey. Did he leave? He was here and left? I told you somebody at your table was going to win a prize. Now I lied, right? Okay. Next, John Olson. Come claim your prize.
What you get when you pull double duty.
That's right. You notice he did visiting Rotarians and I'll say that's right. Take your choice.
The thermometer, the Kindle, the theater tickets, crawdads, and the ground.
Well, the talking thermometer is awful tempting, but I think I'll take the Kindle.
All right. You got it?
And the gift certificate is in there.
Cool.
So just make sure you see it if you want to take a gift receipt.
Thank you.
All right, he took the Kindle.
I can't read, but I can
All right. Next prize winner. And I was looking, Ann, I had Ann, we don't have our invocation committee done yet exactly. And so I'm looking for a preacher. We got like 12 of them in the club. None of them are here.
Wait a minute.
Well, they got here eventually. Thomas Griffiths is the next name. Nate, you're up. You won.
David, but I did the prayer.
Well, I know. So that's between you and Thomas.
Better keep praying.
All right, the Disney tickets. Y'all are overlooking this tomorrow. This is a neat thing. I read the reviews on it, actually, and it's amazing. 100 yards away, it'll tell you. Get back to your food. So the next person with a chance at it is Mitzi Gelman.
Hey, Alan suggested I take something really useful and creative.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a party patio. You get to have a party patio.
All right, party patio from Crawdads. Okay, somebody that's usually back at the back. I'm not sure I see Frank Young today. Usually here, not here. Be sure and tell him. Last year's Secretary Rusty Eisenhower. He is here.
Okay.
Their tickets. Okay. Was here last week. Dave Myers. David Myers. Not here. Okay. Next up, past president, Rich Brown.
Rich, I think vibrates.
Okay, next up, John Orgain. John, anybody remember what John looks like? Inside joke. Next, David Millsaps. Knew he was getting it. He was right up front.
VIP seats. Okay.
Goes with the Groucho certificate. Okay. VIP seats. These are pretty neat. I sat in these illegally one night at the Crawdads game. I used Charles Young's name. Actually, my mother-in-law used it, and that pretty much did the trick. Well, the next name up, and it's his own fault. Cliff Goddard is not here. He's on vacation, And we talked about that. He's coming back tomorrow, but he wouldn't cut it short to come see the governor, so that's what he gets, right? All right. Next up, Bill Dodd.
You have no choice. No choice. That's it.
Okay, thanks for everybody that donated prizes. I think that was a lot of fun, and we shouldn't have to bribe you to be at meetings, but sometimes we got to do what we got to do, right? Okay. And we want to keep that attendance up, and even though we're not giving, you never know, we might give something next week, so be here just in case. Remember the cart buckets, and somebody, oh, I thought there was something else. Thanks to everybody that visited us visiting, and visiting Rotarians. Thanks for coming. Nothing else. We'll adjourn with the four-way test. The things we think, say, and do. They're all concerned. Will their friendships will be